I mean, all right, there we go. Maybe today or tomorrow, y'all will benefit from some of the work that I have to do. I have to build a digital agency for a client. Of course, Antonio doesn't do anything regularly. That digital agency will focus heavily on lead generation, building a pipeline. I'm thinking somewhere to the tune of 40,000 leads a month, because I need that myself. So ain't no sense in doing something that is general when I could benefit from a bunch of leads myself. We'll do that. But yesterday I told y'all to remind me, I'm gonna focus a lot on personal branding. Deanna, can you post your thing out for me again? There's 17, this podcast or something. I need to see that because I got to do all three together. It was 3 of them. It was like blogs, something and something and something. But I want to remind you of what I've said yesterday as well, because I want to focus on personal brand as well, even though if you do these 17 things, that is focusing on personal brand, just so you all are aware of that. Thank you. So today we're going to do quotes, merchandise, blog, journal, and prompt journal. I'm gonna do all 6 of them because they all go together. They all go together. Quotes, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Quotes, merchandise, blogging or blogs, same thing, journal, and prompt journal. And all 6 of those go together. I'm gonna lump all 6 of those together. Yesterday, I wanted Deanna to remind me to talk about how to build your email database. I forget who asked that question, but it was a brilliant question. And then go into detail on lead magnets. That was even more so brilliant. And then lead magnets for men and women. Who asked these questions? Because that was somebody hungry. That's for sure.
That was Tracy.
Okay. Makes sense. That was somebody hungry. All right, that makes sense.
Mr. Smith?
Yep.
I just wanted to interject. One of the things that you said in the past, which I hate when I have to give you credit.
Well,
I'm like Adonia. It hurts.
So, sometimes God will punish you and make you give me credit.
But one of the things that you said is that when you make the commitment to do what you know your purpose is to do, the opposite will show up. Man,
big sigh.
You're talking about the opposite, but here's the beauty of this, Antonio, is because I was forewarned and prepared. When it came, I said, "Yo, weren't you already aware this was gonna happen? So what you gonna do? You gonna get distracted, or man?" So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah,
because I'm hoping that I ain't the only one, but
no.
It was. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, trying to recover from yesterday, and I'm saying, "So what you gonna do?" "Oh, let me get some work done."
Yeah, there's nobody here not experiencing the opposite. If you're like Adonia, you're attempting to get more, then less has shown up in your life. If you are saying, "I ain't gonna do nothing because I'm mad," then all the opposite of "I'm not gonna do nothing because I'm mad." Everybody calling you, responsibilities, bills, text messages, everything is happening to you right now. And then if you're somehow finding yourself in the third in between and you're just doing no action whatsoever, then the universe is beating you in your face, health problems, all sorts of stuff, because contrast is not personal. When you get contrast, it means you don't know what you know. You don't know what you want to do. When you know what you want to do, then that contrast just becomes resistance, and you can't enjoy your life without resistance. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. You can't enjoy your teeth if you first did not have any. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's just a part of life. It just is what it is. This is what it is. This, I didn't realize how deep today was going to be in details. You are going to get joyfully overwhelmed. I'm sorry. You're going to get joyfully overwhelmed. Well, it's because to answer the question, build your email database, and then go into detail about lead magnets and stuff, it's a lot. Deanna, let's title today's class Using AI to Build Personal Brand Part 1. Let's do that. This is going to be part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 probably. Yeah. Use AI to build a personal brand. Part 1. Stupid Matt. Part 1. Go ahead, Law. There you go. He's walking away.
It's so funny that you're talking about the opposite, right? Because the casting agent called me yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, you didn't. Thank you. We're in the interviewing phase now, so all the people got their stuff in, which is awesome. But she messaged me. She was like, "Oh, you didn't tell me what your fears were, what have you?" And I was like, "Oh, water." She was like, "Oh, this challenge has some water activities within it." And I said, "Oh, it does? Oh, well, I could swim. I'm just a little afraid of deep water. So now I gotta figure out some swimming lessons." So that's the opposite for me, but that's fine. I'm gonna do what I gotta do what I gotta do. So that fear can go to
Yes.
the wayside.
Figure
And
out how
then
to
the second
swim and then look stupid on camera. It's going to be great TV. It's going to be great TV. Yes. It's great TV.
And then the other thing is, I feel like every day or even twice a day, I get like a new update on the app as far as like the API or the updates. And it just feels like it's constant. I'm like, oh God, what's new on this one? What do I have to do on this one? So those are like my two things.
Yeah, let me address that.
With.
Yeah, let me address that. So moving forward solves all problems. It's not just a catchy thing I say, it's Newton's first law of motion in inverse. An object at rest will remain at rest when an unbalanced force acts upon it. Inversely, an object in motion will remain in motion as long as an unbalanced force is upon it. So moving forward solves all problems. However, moving forward creates new problems. It goes with the territory, because when you're moving forward, you increase your level of awareness. So all those old problems fade away, but you ain't never been here before. Wherever forward is, you've never been there before. Therefore, you get access to a whole bunch of new resistance. That's what's happening. that's what's happening. I want you to think about that every time you take a step forward, when you're genuinely moving towards your dreams, you've never been there. You have no awareness for this level. Like you had to see, in order to move forward, Adonia, you got to have the awareness first. I'm going to move forward. But once you do, the old you can't handle the step you just took. So all that mastery of problems you have conquered, that was for 2 steps backwards. That ain't had nothing to do with 2 steps forward.
Will you shut up? Will you just shut up?
But you know what? That actually makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it really does make sense, because you think, I mean, you moved a step, but you moved a step that you should have been on maybe 2 steps behind. So you're always really behind because you have to learn more, right? So that I actually get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're always in a residual effect of who we really are. Always. Our mind changes first, and then we step forward, and our reality catches up with us. The real reality is inside your mind. That's why The Matrix is a documentary. It's not a movie at all. Moving forward is not where you were, Janice. Therefore, you don't know nothing about forward. So here comes all this stuff you've never experienced. It's the people. Yeah.
Keep right on.
It make you shocked when you start getting how life works, and this is not personal. It's not personal. Of course, you didn't see that coming. You've never used your eyes before on this level. This is the first time you got your eyes open on this level.
Oh my God, I need you to wait a minute. I'm at work. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Yeah, of course. You know, you've never used these eyes before. Oh, good job, Law. Thank you for bringing that up. Good job. You and no. So we're gonna call this section, Diana. I don't even know what to call this section. It is going to be building your email database and creating lead magnets. There you go. Building your email database and creating lead magnets. Preamble information first.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, I gotta say this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. This just dropped to me, like for real. Because all my life, I've been like, okay, he puts our tears in a bottle, right?
Right.
So now, this just dropped. Okay, so my tears, because I just couldn't get it together the other day. I was just, oh my God, I was so hurt. But he took my tears, used my tears to open my eyes to see that they were watering the seed that was already planted to move me forward for the healing that I say that I'm doing, which is actually happening because I haven't stopped moving. So it has to keep going. Gotcha.
That's deep. That's deep.
It's called a breakthrough.
That's real deep. She says her tears were being used to water the seeds. Okay. And you know what? That's great advice. That's very accurate. The trick of life is to learn how to let something else water your seeds, like faith, trust, other people's energy, other people's sources of income producing assets. And as she continues to grow in herself, it won't take her own vital energy to water her seeds. Okay, thank you. I was hoping somebody. I was hoping that went past somebody representative.
No,
Hallelujah. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down.
No, that was deep because we can't water our seeds with the dirty water that's in us. We're supposed to be filling ourselves with the clean water so we can cleanse ourselves. So I'm learning there are times where you have to allow someone else to nurture your garden while you sit back because you're exhausted from the seed planting.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks calls that co-creating. Yeah, keep going. I'm just telling you, Abraham Hicks calls when she says co-creating, that's what she means by what you just said.
Antonio,
Yes, sir.
Gotta jump in there. What's going on right now is just blowing me away.
It's a move of the spirit because it ain't in my script.
Because a while back, when I got my spiritual book from the printer, there was a screw up. So I contacted Melissa and I said, blah, 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 blah. She said, no problem, Jerome. She says, why don't we go through this? Let's edit thoroughly. And I said, okay, let's do that. Well, the way she edits wasn't the way I edit. But guess what? I've been going through that book line by line. And for I'm gonna say the last 5 meetings, when I'm reading in that book, we're talking about here on these whatevers.
Look at that.
And I'm sitting there going, yeah, exactly. I'm sitting there saying, if the book would have went through, I wouldn't have been reading it and wouldn't have had to testify to what you're saying. I'm sitting there going,
No, you
whoa,
wouldn't even
wait a
heard
minute,
this
wait a minute.
conversation. You would have daydreamed.
Like,
You would have. Your wife would have distracted you. Your phone would have rang. You wouldn't even heard
that's
this
what I did
conversation.
this morning. I was
Yep.
going through a part of it this morning, and it came up on this meeting. I went, wait a minute,
Yep.
it did it again. It did.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
But I wanted to get mad because of what happened to the book. Guess what? I ain't mad.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, that makes sense. Like this life is incredible. It just is what it is. It's this life is incredible. If you don't have what it takes to experience that breakthrough, life will send you a text message. When it comes, you will daydream. You have an attitude and miss it. You'll be overwhelmed when it comes. Typically, let me just, y'all not finna like me. Ooh, y'all not finna like me. Ooh, Lord have mercy. I want y'all to pay attention to me first. And I want you to see how typically I was curious yesterday. I got so much to say. I was curious yesterday. So I asked ChatGPT. I was teaching Deanna something, and I was like, well, wait a minute. What about my writing style? What's my writing style? Because I know my writing style, but I can't explain it. But I know my writing style because it's mine. But I don't know it because I don't think about knowing it. I just do it. I just absolutely do it. It's not something I go, well, you know what I'm going to do is step one. No, I just do it. So I asked ChatGPT, what's Antonio T. Smith Jr. writing style yesterday? Because I'm in a database. And if I tell you motor scooters that ChatGPT know more about Antonio Smith than Antonio Smith knows, this don't make no damn sense. And
I told you it was more. I told you because
Child.
when I went to him and was asking questions, he just all up in your business. I'm just saying. I'm be quiet.
if I tell y'all, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna read to y'all with ChatGPT. I had to save it. ChatGPT said, Antonio T. Smith Jr.'s writing style is both assertive, success-focused tone, and authentic. He has a resilient voice. His tone has a resilient voice, and language should be powerful, deeply personal, and direct, designed to ignite a sense of urgency and inspire action. Advocating for massive action and ambitious thinking as pathways to extraordinary success while weaving in stories of personal adversities and triumphs to humanize the journey. Themes should revolve around financial success, mastery, relentless persistence, resilience, faith, and assertiveness to motivate the reader towards massive action and transformation. Simultaneously, the narrative should radiate authenticity, vulnerability, and tangible understanding of the reality of setbacks and comebacks, echoing Antonio T. Smith Jr.'s unique coaching style. The prose should therefore create a compelling blend of relentless drive, human connection, and nurturing hope.
Whatever, you wrote that.
I did not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's too perfect. Yes, you did.
I did not. Not even close. I did not, for sure. And I sat there and I said to myself, okay, that makes sense. I brought it up because typically when y'all say something, this was, see, I say y'all not gonna like me. I'm about to get to it now. Y'all say something, I just run right over it. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I pay attention to it, direct about it, such and such. But this one time almost always, y'all can make me stop in my tracks. And it happens almost on every call. It's also why I'm, on some calls say cameras on. It's overwhelmed. When y'all get overwhelmed, that's when the vulnerability, the authenticity and the vulnerability and the tangible understanding of reality and setbacks and comebacks, echoing in Antonio T. Smith Jr. unique coaching style, shows up. Because I understand that overwhelm means you are allergic to the breakthrough you just had. That's where overwhelms come from. When you are overwhelmed, that means you, yes, yes, Law. When you are overwhelmed, that does not mean you don't understand. No, 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 no. You fully heard what was said. And your programming said, we will not move. Overwhelming. How many know overwhelming feels like frustration? That's cognitive dissonance. You're just using a different word for it. You're just saying overwhelmed. You are overstimulated because you just heard your breakthrough, but you were not ready for it. The programming.
No, because I use that word all the time. No, I will not let you slap me like that. No.
I know that's right. Like,
Oh, but it makes sense. No. Wow. Oh, wow.
Nope.
I got to sit down for that.
It is programming. You heard something. You cannot be overwhelmed if you did not understand. And you can't be overwhelmed if you're mad and ignored it. No. You received it. It literally hit your soil. And your programming, we call it a social construct. Your social construct is now under attack. The reason why you are overwhelmed is because you have a social construct. And I want to explain what a social construct is right now. Then I'll read, I believe that's Deanna's message. Oh, I should play that video, shouldn't I? I should. Okay. Deanna wants me, we playing a video in Pathbender. She wants me to play it because I am absolutely, it'll reinforce what I'm talking about. I would definitely do that. A social construct is an invisible world in which you built that has you a prisoner. But you're also the guard keeping you in the prison and the warden running the prison. Please write this down. A social construct is an invisible world with an invisible government. And you are its only prisoner. But you're also the guard enforcing your prison status, and you're the warden running the whole prison. When you say things like
shut up.
That's about right. That's you know when you tell the truth and somebody ready for it, they go, you get on my nerves, right? I told you that old lady told me years ago, good preacher make you cuss. She told me that years ago. This is a 90-year-old lady. She walked up to me and said, young man, I cussed you out. I said, oh my God. She said, well, good preacher made you cuss. I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I never forgot that. It's too funny. I say that in the notes, yeah. This is what social constructs look like. Well, you know, as a woman, you got to work twice as hard as a man. That's an invisible world you created, and you're the only prisoner in it. You're the only prisoner in it.
I gotta jump in on that one.
Come on.
You actually just described what agoraphobia is, which is interesting. That was elegantly put. Because when you were saying that, I was like, damn, that was the same thing that I was actually going through, because we create this world on the inside of our head, and that reality, we can't escape it. So therefore we're stuck in our environment. We can't step outside of it. And we do make our own self prisoners inside of our head, inside of our environment. So that was well said. Holy crap.
No, thank you. Yeah. I was doing research on social constructs way back in 2012 or something. And they had this nerdy explanation and all this stuff. And I was like, nah, let me hood that up. I immediately understood what it was, like, nah, this is what it is. Remember, if I wasn't doing this right now, I would more than likely have my doctor's in cognitive developmental neuroscience. Like, that was winning. It was that or mathematics. I was trying to figure out which type of quantum physicist which background I was going to have. The neuroscience background and going to quantum physics, or the math and the neuroscience, development of cognitive neuroscience. I'll show that note in a second. That there was winning. If I
Oh
tell
my
you,
God, the book makes even more sense now.
it does. It does. It absolutely does. When you think about Antonio Smith, the brain it just intrigues me because I was trying to figure out for so many years what's wrong with me, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with me. So I just went a bunch of psychology, and I was telling my dad that I'm 41, and I was saying something. I was saying this to him and Deanna last night, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you broke that down." Every time I asked me to break down narcissism, and it was easy for me because, for one, I'm a narcissist. So it doesn't. No, I am clinically diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm literally, so I can spot a narcissist not a mile away. I'm a narcissist. It's like saying, find a human. Well, I'm a human. You'll say, this is not hard. This is not hard at all. What I have is a bunch of learned behaviors that stop me from being a narcissistic butthole. So you got to learn. You have to continue to learn to retrain your program. But anyway, and I told him, I said, Dad, I'm 41 years old. I've been in therapy 30 years of my life. This is genuinely 67, 68% of my life I've been in therapy. So it's kind of safe to say I understand therapy. Yeah, I remember I grew up homeless, CPS, that was therapy. Then I went to the Army and did all that stuff, and I've been in therapy since 2004. So it's what it is. Most of y'all need therapy. You ain't gonna get it though, but you sure enough need it. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. As Deanna's recommendation, which I believe is accurate for this moment. There we go. This is deep, y'all, by the way. Let me read this question on the screen for the audience on podcast. Did you touch on the theory about early childhood conditioning of the subconscious mind?
Very simple understanding. If you go to an Apple store and you buy an iPod and you take it out of the store and you push play on the iPod, nothing plays. And then you're now upset about the fact you just spent all this money and your iPod doesn't work. And then some little 7-year-old kid next to you looks up and goes, hey, mister, unless you download something first, it will not work. The idea is exactly the same. The mind has a conscious creative mind, but a subconscious program mind. The conscious mind does not go into full operation until after age 7. The first 7 years, the mind is in a lower vibrational state called theta. And this is when you can read this by putting wires on a person's head, EEG. The relevance of theta is that it represents imagination, which is what kids under 7 live in. Half the world is imagination. The mother says, give me the broom. The child says, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a horse. So to the child, the broom in the imagination state of theta actually is the horse. So theta is imagination. More important, theta is hypnosis. The relevance about that is, if you think of all the rules an individual must learn to become a functional member of a family and a community, thousands of rules. I said, well, how do you teach an infant thousands of rules? And the idea is, well, you can't give them a book, and you can't teach them in a school. So basically, what we have to understand is this. Nature created the first 7 years of download hypnosis to observe other people, the parents, the siblings, and the community, observe their behavior and directly download their behavior as the foundational download of behavior. Once a child is becoming conscious, which is around age 7, the conscious mind will use that programming to maneuver in the world. The most important part is this. We have to recognize that this is a program. And number 2 is that most of the programming psychologists have revealed is negative and disempowering. And number 3 is that we are capable of changing the program. And once you understand that, then you are free to rewrite the story of your life. But if you don't do that, your life has been programmed. And this is not anything new. For 400 years, the Jesuits have said, give me a child until it's 7 and I will show you the man. What people didn't understand they were saying is, if I get the program the first 7 years, I will determine the outcome of that individual's life. Now, that sounds like, oh, that's an interesting fact. I go, it's a fact that has never been lost in 400 years. And in fact, today we're being programmed much more effectively than the Jesuits were programming 400 years ago.
I'm gonna pause just for a moment to read this question for the podcasting audience. How can people identify if they've got programming that isn't serving them?
The hardest part about the programming is it occurs before your mind actually enters into consciousness, which is alpha vibration. So the first 7 years you're downloading. And you've been downloading since actually before you were born in the last trimester of pregnancy. So the question becomes very seriously, what are my programs? And then why it becomes a question is you are not even conscious when the programs are downloaded. So you say, well, I don't know what my programs are. I don't know what I learned when I was 1 year old. So the exciting part about it is that science has recognized that 95% of our life comes from subconscious programs. So a simple truth is this: you look at your life and it is a printout of your programs. So it's simple. You don't have to know who said what, who did what. That's blaming the messenger over the message. The message is, what did you learn? Program. And I say, yeah, but the program is what you're playing 95% of the time. So therefore look at your life, and it comes down to simple. And it goes like this: the things that you like that come into your life come in because you have programs to accept those. The other part, though, is anything that you work hard at, struggle over, sweat over, what you put a lot of effort into. Question, why are you working so hard to make these things manifest? The answer inevitably is your programs in your subconscious do not support that end. So the simple point is, you want to know your programming? Look at your life. As I said, the things you like that come are there because you have programs to support them. But in contrast, anything you must work at, anything you have to put effort into to manifest in your life, the amount of work you're putting in is really to compensate for the fact that you have a program that doesn't support that and you're trying to override it.
All right, that's the end of the video, but wait before y'all say something, because all y'all programming has been activated. There's no doubt about it. Law then put one of his down into the chat right now. The first 8 years of your life, you're in theta waves. You're being programmed. That's the whole point of it. This is not up for argument. We have scientific evidence for this. Not only do we have technology that can read brain waves, right, and stuff like that, but how can Antonio be conscious, Adonia? What does conscious mean? To be conscious. But how can I be conscious? How can I know something if I don't have any programming to know? Like, everybody just pause for a moment. We get lost because he's at work. In order for me to know something, I have to have stuff put in. You can't know anything. You can't buy a computer with no memory and it works. It has to have programming in it for it to then be a computer. And we all know the brain is a supercomputer. So when you were born, since you can't read, we go through 8 years of theta just to be programmed. And psychologists, we all know this. Whatever you learn after 8, you become. This is where disorders come from. You can't have a narcissistic disorder if you wasn't a narcissist as a child. You have to have it as a child and then have it as an adult. That's a disorder. If you only have it as an adult, you're just a mean person. Go ahead, Law.
All right, I understand that a little bit. I guess the part that I was wrestling with is because I think of my programming when I was 7 or 8, and the trajectory that I should have been shouldn't be the person which I am, right?
Right.
So I think that's the part that I wrestle with.
No, that's programming in itself. You took your programming and said, I'm never going to do this. I'm going to be better than my parents. I'm going to be better than my situation. That's how you received your programming. You don't have to be what you go through. But if you think about that, Law, you are a contrarian, period. If anything, we all know Law. If crowd is going left, Law goes right. If like this is, so he's literally saying, well, you know, directing my life, I went the opposite way. Law, you've been doing it. You still do it today.
Very true. It's very
You
true.
just get rewarded for it. So it doesn't look like programming. But
Okay.
we all know law. If you're not going to dress up, he is. Right? If you're not going to take this seriously, he is. If y'all over here tripping, I'm not. If y'all don't see this dumb stuff, fine. This is law. This is law.
That time was on point.
Law never goes with the crowd. The crowd
Yeah,
goes with law.
very true.
There you go. That's your programming. And that's what you've been
Okay.
doing. See, he's been doing that since from newborn to 8. More than likely, if I had to diagnose you, more than likely you was watching your siblings going, yep, I'm not going to do that. They got in trouble for that dumb stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to do that at all. No.
Very true.
Okay,
And
so-
this is why like some of my siblings could not stand me growing up, because I'm just like, because y'all don't learn. Like I learned from the stupidity y'all do. I'm gonna do this, so I ain't got no issues.
all right.
And they never got that. They never understood that.
Yeah, I see it. So why he said, I don't know if I get with that. He actually gets with it completely.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow the programming being put upon you, but that programming will program you. It will program you, and then you become a certain way. And now Law is in his 30s or late 20s, and Law is still, y'all don't learn. That's all right. I am. He's building a tech company because the folk around him not learning not to have a job. Not him. This job is just funding my tech company. So I'm out of here as soon as this thing hit. That is baby law, if you've ever heard it. Think about it. His co-workers are his
Very true.
siblings. They not listening. He over here building.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Y'all waiting on the bonus. I'm not waiting on no bonus.
I have a follow up to that, because
Yep,
I think
go
of my brother who's 11 months older than me, right? Because we have similar programming or what have you. And he
your mama
started.
stayed pregnant that year. I mean, that 2 years, your mama stayed
Look,
pregnant.
I got 11
Golly.
months older than me, 11 months younger than me. Okay.
Oh Lord, your mama was pregnant for 4 years straight.
Yes, and then it was every 2 years after that.
He could drink nothing but tomato juice.
Correct. So I think of his, we have similar programming, right?
Yep.
And go back to the documentary, like I said, they said that you can tell the trajectory of a person based on their program or what have you. My brother wasn't on that trajectory, and then all of a sudden he kind of went through the lifestyle in which my parents went through. And I'm still trying to figure out like why. It seemed like you was off of that path. We made a decision, but then you kind of went back to it. You went toward it.
That's just programming. So a lot of us have the programming that I'm going to change and then sabotage. We don't see it that way. This is why a lot of people are in religion. Law. Okay. This is why a lot of people are in religion. I'm not saying religion is bad, but you need to hear what I'm about to say, and I'm about to get stoned to death. So your brother that does this doesn't want to take responsibility for his life. Like, I don't even need to know him. If I know your program and I know everything about you, like I am a cognitive processing therapist, a behavioral therapist, and a wannabe quantum physicist. I got this down. His brother don't want to take responsibility for his life. So what he does, he's this ambitious victim.
Oh my God.
Lord, let me know when I'm
Oh
wrong.
my God. Let me tell you, my brother has had all the opportunities in the world, some opportunities of which I have wanted, and has fudged them all up.
Yeah.
From
He's an
being
ambitious
on
self-sabotager.
TV to being a model to doing this, like have had all the great people and sabotage every single opportunity. And now he is the success victim in a sense. And I'm just like,
That's
bro,
right.
you had
That's
everything.
right.
Everything was given to you.
Given to you. Every bit of it. Every single bit of it was given to him. And this isn't a bad thing. This isn't a good thing. This is simple understanding of programming. It's not personal. He's just something in his life, his parents, obviously, whoever he trusted, siblings, somebody taught him he's never going to be good enough, not compared to us. So he's got two programs competing with one another. He shows y'all how good he is, but deep down, he don't believe it. His imposter syndrome is incredible. So he has to kill it because your brother doesn't want to win. Your brother wants y'all to love him for trying. And obviously, as y'all were growing up, y'all didn't give him that. You did a good job. Everybody else was getting it. So his success is in trying, not winning. So his reward program is consistently falling in love, getting orgasmic emotions about trying, not winning, trying. And some of y'all on these squares, you're the same way, because your goal, your dopamine, that's the orgasmic happiness, was to publish the book. It was never to be successful. It was never to sell the damn thing. It was to publish it. This is why you don't promote your book, because you don't have programming to support promoting your book. For you, the goal was for you to just show the family and the friends who didn't believe you can do it, got my book. And when you did that, it was dopamine released. And once you release that dopamine, work is over. It's over. And this is why most of y'all have books that don't promote it. Because the goal was to shine, Adonia, on your brother who kept hating you. The goal was not to actually get your book into millions of hands and to the little you out there who needs that book. That was never the goal. You can
Okay, Antonio, you can stop now, okay?
Okay, go ahead, Janice. Come, I saw your hand up. After she finished, go ahead, Janice. Law started this. Ain't that do me? Law fault.
It ain't my
New
fault.
York law applied to New York, okay?
Law fault. Yes. Go ahead, Janice. This is it. Listen, I'm gonna show y'all before Janice go. I'm gonna show y'all. I just pulled them away because I pulled up something else.
While you're putting that up, I'm going to jump on the sword.
You should.
So everyone knows that I've been working on this huge the hideaway. The last time I talked to y'all about doing the business plan, I have not touched it.
Because your dopamine was in
Exactly, okay?
Exactly. I've never heard that put together. Has anybody else ever heard that? That is you should keep saying that. That is
never
pretty
will
catchy.
again.
Yeah, exactly. That is about right.
Man, and you sit here talking, and I'm like,
yeah, I do this for a
and
living.
I subconsciously stopped talking about stuff because I guess my soul was like, excuse my language, just how I talk to myself. Bitch, you ain't gonna do nothing. Stop, don't say nothing. Because the moment they say, oh, congratulations, you ain't gonna do nothing else. So don't say nothing. Like, I think my soul secretly told me this because it's a lot of stuff I do, I don't talk about. And when I don't talk about it, I get further along with it. And the moment I say something, all construction of whatever I'm doing ceases.
That's why I don't say anything. Y'all have no idea what I'm working on. And you have no idea. And it's amazing. I done built a whole conference, and I called Chef Jay yesterday. She gonna chef it. It's a yearly conference. I did all sorts of stuff. You will hear about it when tickets is on sale. You understand? You ain't hearing about it until the end. Ain't no sense to me telling you about it because it's dopamine. I got a divine F you, Antonio, in the chat from Trinace. I don't know if y'all see it. It's got the Holy Spirit on top of it.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's EEFFU, Antonio. And so she wanted me to know. She wanted me to get the whole F you. She wanted me to get all of it. Okay, get ready to go, Janet, because I saw your head up. Deanna, her joy came from, ooh, I'm doing great, y'all. All right, and that's what happened. This is how it works. So dopamine. So me and Adonia are married, or we're courting, and then Adonia does something. I go, ooh, that makes me feel good. That's that dopamine release. And dopamine and serotonin are both happiness. They're both chemicals. They're both like, well, dopamine is like cocaine, to be honest with you. Dopamine is like cocaine. It really is, like, it's nearly chemically exact to cocaine. And dopamine shoots through my body, and I go, ooh, that made me feel good. Do it again. And don't you? And she do whatever she did with her fingers or whatever she did. Ooh, do it again, right? Do it again. The problem with dopamine, though, is I need Adonia to do it again for me to appreciate her, because dopamine runs out. And then if Adonia stop doing it, then I gotta get it from somewhere else, don't I? So now I gotta cheat on Adonia. I'm not really cheating. That's not how I convince myself, Jerome. I say, well, she stopped doing what she stopped doing to get me. So I got needs. I gotta go get it over here. That's dopamine. Dopamine means I am so happy. I need more of this. Give me more. Serotonin, take the same relationship, me and Adonia together. Serotonin says, oh my God, I love that thing Adonia doing. I love what she do, and I love how she makes me feel. I'm so happy. I don't need anything else. She is all I need. Those are two different forms of happiness, and most of y'all are in dopamine relationships, to where if you stop doing whatever you do, that relationship has trauma in it, because your relationship is built off dopamine. Christians try to get this right. Y'all say it. You say that there's a difference between happiness and joy. So you're actually saying the same thing in the way you say it. Happiness is, it's conditional, but joy comes from the Lord. So it's not, you're saying the same thing. You really are, you're just spiritualizing the science, but it is the same thing. And if that's the understanding you have, then you get this conversation. You get this conversation. But I am loyal to Adonia either because she is my drug, or because I don't need anything else but her. Those different happiness, one of those relationships is toxic. The other is soulmate-ish. Let the hearer and readers of God's word be blessed. Okay, go ahead, Trinace, before Janice, because you're at work. Go ahead, Trinace. With me, I can start something and get encouragement and stop doing it. Lord have mercy. We coming back to that immediately. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Y'all done changed the whole call.
So I don't normally announce what I'm doing. I don't believe in announcing a New Year's resolution. I don't believe in announcing should I do. And the reason I don't is because people be having an expectation of stuff.
Okay, that's a program, though. I just know I need you to get. That's
so
a program.
So this is why I'm saying this. I usually work on what I work on, and when you find out that I've finished it, it's because it's finished. Because I don't want the pressure of you looking at me and asking me and on my head about, did I get it done? Did I lose weight? Did I write the book? Did I do this? Did I do that? So I just do what I do in silence. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, okay. You're doing so well right now. You feel to bless everybody on the call, because you're doing the right thing, but you can't get a harvest from it because your programming can't produce harvest. I'll explain. Keep going. You're doing the right thing, but your programming is a vibration. Your programming is actually planting the seeds, not your actions of doing the right thing. I'll explain.
So then the other thing is, when I first moved to Houston, I've been in Houston 8 years this month. And when I first moved here, I planned an event. I ain't know nobody, but it was something that I always had wanted to do. I'm in a new space. It was open to explore different things that I wanted to do that I couldn't do in Charleston, slave state, South Carolina.
Well, now you're in slave state, Texas. But in fairness, though, South Carolina only became a state to house slaves. That is the history of South Carolina. So technically, it's absolutely a slave state.
So I did. So when it didn't go like I expected, I just moved on to the next thing. And I noticed, first of all, I had an issue with completing things. So now I'm over the thing with completing things. So now what I'll do is I'll complete something, and whether it's air quote successful or air quote not successful, I just keep going. I don't investigate why it was successful or why it was unsuccessful. So I think maybe part of that is why I don't really announce that I'm doing something. You don't really know until it's done.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Let's go back to what started this conversation. It was me. The only reason I read what ChatGPT said about my writing style is because I said, y'all not gonna like me, because I wanted to address overwhelming, why you're overwhelmed. Then Deanna told me to play the video, and then Law came in here and just started all this wildfire that got us here. I want to tell you why Trinace is doing the right thing, but she can't see the right thing in her life. Y'all, who can relate to that? This is, okay, it is at this point in the call that I can help you. I can free you if you be honest. I cannot if you, okay, whoever that is, okay, Renee, Law, they cut on the cameras. Hopefully the rest of you at least give some feedback, but I can't help you. How you show up to this call is how you show up to your marriage. How you show up to this call is how you show up to your spiritual practice. It's how you show up to your daughter. It's how you show up to your son. So if you
always working, what the hell?
That's how you show up. It is. That's how you show up. This is how you people are so, I got I know where I'm going. I know how much y'all gonna hate this, but it's not me. And I'm not gonna say it rudely, Tracy. It's just no one likes introspection. No one likes to look at themselves and see you are the reason why you're losing. Nobody likes it. And I am the chief force you to introspector. And people just don't like that. People just don't like that. How you show up to this call, if you always on this call and your camera's always off.
I was in charge of the jail. I thought I was in charge of the prison.
You are in charge of the
Warden.
jail. Well, you
So
are.
So why don't you just shut the hell up and then I ain't got to work?
That makes sense. See, I could take feedback like that. When somebody be like, I don't want to hear that. That means you hearing it. You just real with your resistance. That's all. Tracy, you can't struggle if you're not holding on to the problem and the solution at the same time. If you just got the problem, that's not a struggle. If you just got the solution, that's not a struggle. The struggle is you got your breakthrough and your breakdown in your brain, in your soul at the same time, and you're holding on both of them. I can make this as plain as possible. I'm not successful because I'm smart. I am successful because I understand life. This has nothing to do with being smart. This has everything to do with the fact that I see the world differently than you. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. So let's break this down. And I'm still gonna get Janice, but this last comment is how many of you, I need honest feedback. But before I get this honest feedback, I need you to know that if you show up to this private call that is not open to the public, in which you are being served, and you stay your camera off, which is no problem, but you stay quiet, never add value, just only take. You, my friend, show up to your son, show up to your daughter, show up to your own damn harvest that way. And that's why your life looks like that. You know who I'm talking to. It ain't hard. You can be offended. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I can guess the amount of money in your bank account. Now, someone's going to go, yeah, but I'm getting dressed. Do you talk? Yes, I'm not talking to you. See that? See how easy that was, Janice?
If the rock don't hit you, don't holler.
Right? If it ain't hit you, don't holler, right? That's what she said. If you talk, I ain't talking to you. But this is how this works. And I promise you, you may think you're a good leader, but the people on your team don't think so. You may think you're a good father, but your kids don't think so. You may think you're a good mother, but your kids don't think so. You are under the illusion you're doing well, But the way you show up here is the way you show up to your kids. The way you show up anywhere is the way you show up everywhere. You don't just change. This is why you have repeated the same relationship your entire life. Just different people. Same relationship, different people. So this is Trinace's problem in what she said. She's doing the right thing, but her harvest, I need honesty right here, ain't showing up. Come on, who's with me? I need real honesty. Okay,
I'm with you.
like, but you'd be like, well, I'm doing good. Are you doing what you want? Then no, you are not doing good. So stop saying that dumb stuff. Oh, who taught y'all I'm breaking even is a blessing? You serve a God of abundance, but you shouting about breaking even.
I'm gonna turn this camera off. I'm getting off.
Boy, it is Thursday.
Right. So Antonio,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So
I'm going to explain why y'all doing the right thing, but the universe is not blessing you. And it's going to make so much sense. Everybody will get mad and agree at the same time.
I was saying yesterday, because we went to prayer, and I was saying, I said, you know, it's so easy to be like, okay, we trust God, but we trust God for this and for that, and not for everything. But then it's almost like you're like, yeah, I'm breaking even, but there's supposed to be a certain amount of money in my account. I'm not gonna be happy with just breaking even when I'm supposed to have overflow and stuff. So I'm
You don't
like,
believe in God for overflow. Let me help you
right.
out.
I mean, because people
You
can only
believe
believe
God,
where they're at.
you believe God to keep you, not to bless you.
See, and that's the problem with too many people in the church, where they're like, well, I just want a little dab of do. You man, forget that. I want the whole thing, and I want overflow, and I want enough. I want what I want in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no two figures. I want 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just go ahead and go up the numerical value.
Right. But you don't trust that God believes that you are the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figure. Whatever you have in your life, you have trusted yourself to be able to handle. All right, let me tell you about
Okay, whoa.
I ain't gonna forget because I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it.
How's that working out for you?
Whoa.
Whatever you have in your life, you have trusted that this is what you believe you can handle.
Oh.
That should be a breakthrough moment for some of you. Yeah, I need you to receive that. I thought before any of you ever showed up that I should be admired and worshiped, and millions of people should come to me a day. And I believe that. I reach 2.4 million people a day. And Tracy, I believe that, broke, ashy, and skinny with no audience. I need you to get when nobody knew my name, when I had to sit with the deacons because I wasn't worthy enough to preach. That's really part of my story. I had to sit with the deacons because I had a baby out of wedlock. You want to keep it real? Are we gonna keep it real? Is this okay? I had a baby before I was married. They didn't like that kind of behavior. I had to sit with the deacons for a full year because they was trying to force me to get married. And I say, ain't nobody forcing me to do nothing. Sounds like Antonio. So I waited a full year. I sat with them deacons in embarrassment, and I decided I'm gonna get married when I say I'm gonna get married. Think I'm lying. I've been acting like me for a long time, don't you? And I sat there embarrassed. Nobody knew my name, but I sat there embarrassed, sitting with them deacons, announced my call. They don't call me Reverend or anything like minister, nothing like that. I'm sitting with them. If y'all don't know church life, you don't understand how embarrassed this is. This is highly embarrassing. And I sat there the whole time and didn't say a word. And the whole time I sat there embarrassed in this traditional landmark Baptist church, First Union Baptist Church, 1027 Avenue K, Galveston, Texas, 77550. I sat there in that church and I sat there and I said, I'm gonna get millions of people, don't even worry about it. And nobody knew my name. I was wearing Gucci glasses and starched jeans to church.
Oh my God. That's like, what you just said was what I went through. Except for it wasn't, there were no DQ to sit with. I had to sit in the back, right? And nobody could talk to me and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't talk to nobody. So from that day forth, and I had to stay there for a year, like
you hear me?
in embarrassment. Either you leave the congregation, period, or you're gonna sit here in the back and not say nothing and not talk to nobody, and nobody can come over here and talk to you. And in that time, I said, I'm gonna be heard. What does that have anything to do?
All I know is Tracy is full of the Holy Spirit right now. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you right now. Listen, I got you, Deanna. I promise I won't forget you. Hear me very well. I'm not talking about the church. I'm not saying anything bad about the church. They did what they were supposed to do. I'm not even mad about that. What I'm trying to tell you is, while being publicly embarrassed, voluntarily at this point, because it didn't have to last that long, Jerome, I could have fixed it. I could have fixed it. I didn't. Because I knew who I was. And 6 years later, I was pastoring 20,000 men. I don't think you understand that before Oprah was Oprah Winfrey, she knew she was Oprah Winfrey. You do not get to success. That's what I say. I'm proving the point. How you show up here is how you show up everywhere. You don't show up here and change. That's why y'all can't never apply what I'm saying. Because you got to apply what I'm saying before you get here. So if you want to be rich in there, let me help y'all out. Trinace, Law, Tracy, Antonio, Melissa, and Deanna, and Sandra, and Phil. Now here's the deal. Everybody not finna like what I'm about to say. All those names want to be rich, famous, and highly admired, but they got programming that makes them be humble and say things like, well, I don't mean to be. Stop lying. You've been knowing since kindergarten you was going to be worshiped. And until you lean into that, it ain't going to never happen. God makes some people be out front, and you one of them. But you've been rewarded for being quiet, more than likely because you had some abusive parent that rewarded you for being quiet because they needed to be the loudest, most famous, most admired person in the house. One of the biggest reasons why I am so successful is because my dad was in prison, couldn't give me low self-esteem, and my mama was on crack, couldn't give me low self-esteem. I never grew up to where parents jacked my life up. Y'all really had a harder childhood than me, and I was in the trash can. But I was in the trash can free thinking. Ain't nobody ever told me don't show off. I'm just trying to keep it real with you. So here's Trinace's problem. She's moving in silence and she's delaying her gratification. That's important. Delayed gratification 100% leads to rewards. Okay, look, Lauda put his hand again. You start working like, let me hit his hip. Her problem is she's doing it because she thinks people will take away from her and ruin what she's working on. That's the programming. So what does she attract? People taking away from her and ruining what she worked on. But that's not scientifically possible, because the only person who can manifest in Adonia's life is Adonia. It doesn't matter if I'm in her life. Nobody can plant seeds or create harvest but her. She is the only seed sower in her life. Now, I may be sowing seeds and coexisting around her, but she has the right to tell me, don't you put that in my garden. No, wait a minute. No, I love you. But in this house, we got 2 bank accounts, Antonio. Come on, Adonia. In this house, I got my own account. All that joint stuff. We can have a joint one. But just know, I got one. Just in case you leave. Come on, Adonia. Don't fool me now. Just in case you leave and get done, I'm going to be okay. Done that before. Won't do it again. That's called intelligence. It is intelligent to protect your garden, not arrogant. It's intelligent for Adonia to sign a prenup. So you just think you're going to come up in here and have me, my child grown. I'm not going to be splitting nothing with you. Oh, you don't want to hear me. That's all right. That's all right. Maybe that was just for famous people in Hollywood. But since she's in the Bay Area, that resonated. Y'all, what Trinae said was, I move in silence, and then and the rest of her conversation was about people. This is why y'all do the right thing.
Looks like Francesca is supposed to be next.
This is why y'all do the right thing, but you get the bad harvest. Because actions ain't got nothing to do with this. Faith does. But faith without actions is dead. I feel like I just quoted the Bible twice. I feel like that you get in this world what you face in this world. Now, faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence. The evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not seen, or whenever, flip it around. Either way, you got to have faith. But when you don't have faith, that's a vibration. So what is the opposite of faith? Fear. Not faith. Fear. But you better be glad. So you wonder why you still blessed. Tracy would go, but how do I know? But if I'm in fear, I can't be blessed. God don't give the spirit of fear. First off, yes, God does. Secondly, you were born with fear. Thirdly, be thankful that John 20 proves that God will show up even if you faithless. Remember them little Hebrew boys locked in the room? There was 11 of them. Actually, it was 10 of them because Thomas wasn't even there. My bad. Judas killed himself. Thomas wasn't even in the room. Jesus walked in and said, peace be unto you. Didn't even use a doorknob. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's in there. If you from that faith, it's in there. I can do the Quran the same way. It's in there. It was 10 of them. They weren't locked in their room, Tracy, because they believed. The text says they are in the room, fear of Jews. They were afraid of folk who looked like them, prays with them, just because 2.5 days before, their dreams got nailed to a cross. How do you handle it, Adonia? When other people crucify your dreams. Because to have them automatically ushers in people crucifying what you believe in. It would never be your enemies that crucify your dreams. It will always be the people who worship like you, praise like you, think like you, and look like you. But to be inside the will of God is to be outside the will of people. As soon as Adonia put in her 2 weeks notice, you're going to see who really like her. Oh, she going to find out. It ain't going to be hard. She got retired one day, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, but she going to find out. As soon as Jerome decided, I'm going to take care of my wife, folks said, you dumb. Oh, you ain't no real husband. You ought to do this. You ought to do that. The moment Janice decided, I'm going to be healthy and whole, somebody said, girl, you lived your life. To be inside The will of God. So what's the will of God? What you want to do with your life according to the source inside of you. As soon as you do that, everybody around you who ain't living their own life according to the source in them will crucify you for doing it, because you remind them of doing what they're afraid to do themselves. Yeah, y'all gonna be living. The call changed to what's the new topic down? With the calling changed a while ago.
The new title is The Scientific Reason Why You Are Struggling.
You are struggling because you have programs that you're consciously trying to get past, but your subconscious is like, Tracy, we ain't gonna never do this. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is why it's so hard. That's why you got on the call today, because you told me, she texted me and said she wasn't gonna be able to call.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? Today is Thursday, and he was gonna make him change his call. I need to be able to call. I cannot be able to call. Yeah.
That's great. You gotta fill your closet up with this right here.
Grace is a woman, and y'all know every time the moon cycle, y'all cycle, you understand what I'm saying? And so she getting punched all in the uterus right now. Got my full permission to lay down somewhere and get off. You know why, don't you? Because I can't take one crap. You hear me? Not a one. I don't even know what to do with them. That's why God ain't make me no woman.
All up in your back,
Child, look here.
down in your leg, your head.
I can guarantee you. And God was like, you want to go down there? Yeah, send me down there. You want to be a woman? Oh, no. Let me pay all the bills. All the bills. Give me all the pressure. As a matter of fact, make me a black man. Give me all the pressure. Just don't make me a woman. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Because having a baby is like a lemon giving birth to a watermelon. I don't know how the hell y'all do it. God bless you. Because that seems like an accurate description to me. You're 10 centimeters dilated. What the hell that mean? Why is we celebrating? This baby hand is 2 feet long. Coming out 26 inches. Anyway, let me be quiet. Sorry, that's a male's perspective of the strength of a woman. It's probably inaccurate, but don't worry about me. I'm a man. I'm done. If you are struggling, apparently I said the same thing, I'll just be gay. No, that's right. Say, don't make me a woman, but I kind of like their style. So go on, give me a little blend of it. You know, just give me a blend, but on the male side, you give me a blend of it. Here's the deal. I can't tell you what your programming is until you talk. And then I can tell you everything about you. See, winning has a pathology. Losing has a pathology. And anything outside of serious winning is losing. Napoleon Hill doesn't say there's a path to riches and a path to poverty and a path to I'm doing okay. There is only the road to riches and the road to poverty. So any word you're using to justify your poverty is loser talk keeping you on poverty's road. Before I get Tracy, let me just end this thought. Trinace is doing all the right things and can't see a harvest in her life. The good thing about Trinace is she knows that she's changing that. So I need to give y'all hope. Trinace, your harvest is here. It's coming. You just got to walk past this trash you already planted. That is not when you break down. Because if you keep moving, you'll get to the 12 springs and 70 palms. That's a Bible scripture. You'll get there. But that was one verse after the wood went into the bitter water. So you can either force God to give you bubble guts by having you drink bitter water or just keep walking. My literal first book ever was called Keep Walking because I understood this. One verse later, had they just kept walking, you will walk out that harvest. And that's my word to you right now. Ooh, I got chills. That's my word to you right now. That some of y'all are doing all the right things now. You've been jacked up. You've been planting wheats and tares, but you ain't doing that no more. And you wonder why my life ain't showed up, why I can't retire yet, because you planted this trash and you still have to reap what you have sown. But if you just keep walking, I promise you, you will walk out of the harvest that used to be worthy of you, but no longer is. Come on, Tracy, because we y'all did this. I was minding my little business.
I was minding my business too. A couple of comments on like what you
lost say I need express reaping.
But and that's the thing, when you was talking about people talking and being active and how you show up to the call and how you reap your harvest. Like I know yesterday when we was talking and it looked like I had done a lot of stuff within the time that I've been here. Like I feel like, and I was gonna say this yesterday, but this is the perfect time. Like I'm looking back, I'm about to cry. I'm looking back at everything that has manifested within the last year. And I know that it's because of me asking the questions and me listening and me taking the advice and doing what you said do. I know I wouldn't have a book without the guidance in that day when you like everything you're teaching right now. When you said, and I was like, but if I don't have a book, what am I supposed to do? And you said, write a book. And I'm like, okay. And then with the podcast, I was like, well, I thought about doing a podcast, but I don't. And you were like, well, here, let me show you how to do a podcast. So literally a lot of the things that I've already achieved is because I asked the questions. It's because I, participated. And I really believe that how you show up is how what you put in is what you get out.
It's called
and that's what I tell my students.
Compensation. Law of compensation. Keep going.
The more you participate, the more you get. They'll be like, oh, this is boring, whatever. No, it's boring because you make it boring. I'm not saying y'all, I'm talking about my students. But you just said something, and literally this was Sunday in church, and I wrote this down. This was going to be one of my quotes this week, but it was Mark 11, 12, 23, 24, and for those of you that don't know, I'm just going to read it. But the way that what I got from it, it's the scripture that talks about whatever you say into this mountain be, I'm paraphrasing, mountain shall be removed. Okay. We keep talking about the mountains in our lives, the challenges, the struggles in our lives that we're going through, or we are facing, and we're saying, okay, we're going to speak to that mountain. But then it also says, I had to go back. I really didn't break it down like this before, but it says, and we shall not doubt. Like, I think a lot of times we put it out there, we speak it, we say we want it, and then we turn around and we doubt that it's going to come. We have faith, and then the faith, and when we don't see it happening, when we expect it to happen, then we start doubting. And then it says, you shall not doubt, you shall believe with all your heart. A lot of times we put it out there, and even if we don't doubt, do we really believe that it's going to happen? Because if you're not believing, then how are you going to move the mountain? If you don't really believe, how are you going to overcome the struggles? And then it says, it shall come to pass. But all those other little points in there, we got to remember to keep those in there. So whatever struggles we're going through, and we said, okay, we're going to get through this. You got to believe it and don't doubt that it's going to happen. And that's where, when you're talking about the faith part, like, and the fear, yeah, the emotion of fear is, we were born with it, but we're not supposed to walk in it.
Amen.
And everything that you just said, I'm over here breaking down because you said that you didn't doubt that you were going to, people were going to know your name, millions of people, things like that. And literally, like, that's what I've been wanting and desiring, to have that positive impact. And the fact that you said, when you were at church and you told yourself, they gonna know my name before you know my name. I'm gonna be out there without them knowing me. And literally, I felt that because I remember at church when I was pregnant with Trinity, and I was a teacher in the children's ministry, and they sat me down. I was dancer on the dance ministry, and they sat me down. I couldn't dance, I couldn't teach.
So you resonated with that. You resonated with that. Okay, yes. Keep going.
And with that being said, it was like, okay, I got sat down for that moment, and I felt some kind of way, yes, but hey, like you said, they did what they were supposed to do. But then now, that was 19 years ago, and now I'm teaching children, hundreds and hundreds of children,
every year. So I couldn't let me getting sat down 19 years ago stop me from still walking in my purpose and my calling for what I was supposed to be doing in life. And so I just wanted to mention it because that's why you saw me, because I really was like, man,
I
that
knew
sat
the
me
spirit was
down.
on
And I
you. I
sat back
knew
and I
it.
was like, you know
I
what?
didn't know why, but I knew it.
But y'all, we gotta, when he say, and I be trying not to hog the conversations when we on here, but I'm like, I hope that me asking questions and doing this, I'm not doing this for me.
You better
Like,
get yours, girl. You better get yours.
but
Because you're not
I'm
taking
getting
from
mine, but
them.
at the same time, I'm like, okay, I hope that I'm asking questions that other people can resonate with, that when you answer it, it's helping the whole everybody on this call, not just me. And like the podcast, if you trying to do if you thought about doing it, just start. Literally, that's all I did.
Right.
And I look back at my first 2 podcasts, which I'm at my 1-year anniversary, okay? And I was like, man, I done came a long way from
Yeah.
from
The
where
first
I
2
started.
podcasts always
But
suck.
it was all about starting. The book, it was all about starting and just doing what you said, giving the suggestions and taking it and actually working it. And that's how I got where I am now. And I'm like, I'm trying to go a whole lot higher. So thank you for doing what you do with us. Because for me, in my house,
I know that's
it has
right.
been manifesting. So
Yeah.
thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Y'all unmute your mics, please pour into her. Please, please pour in her.
Thank you.
As you pour into
Tracy,
her,
go on, girl.
God has
Don't
sent
ever stop
somebody to pour into you.
And you know I love you, Tracy. I love you, girl.
Yeah, no, we just,
You have
that's just
been-
encouragement.
you
Yeah.
have been a lot.
She's
for
done
me.
everything I said.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I remember telling her, write the book. Did I think she was going to write the book? Absolutely not. None of y'all listen. Nobody listens. Nobody listens. But I know when she
Law
did.
listen. Law listen.
Law listen. Well, yeah,
Watch
yeah,
your
I
mouth.
was
Watch
using
your
that.
mouth.
Well, see, I understand Pareto's principle, 80-20 rule. So I don't need all y'all to talk, and I don't care if you talk, but it is my job to tell you that how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, I'm fully aware of Pareto's principle. But here's the deal. What I'm more fully aware of is y'all are not going to stop my harvest. You can't. You can't. Nor, y'all ready for this? Nor can you help my harvest. You can't. All
Not
you
with
can
Chat,
do.
not with Chat running his mouth all the time, all over the world.
No, but this goes both ways. I can't help Adonia. I can't hurt Adonia. All I could do is co-create with Adonia. And if she is co-creating at a high level and allow me to co-create with her, I better be at her level. If not, her co-creations would be drugged down by her law of allowing, which is letting me in. There's a law of compensation. You will only get from this world what you give to it. Let me tell you about faith people real quick that y'all blow my mind out. Like sometimes I just want to just like sometimes I just do. They're just looking at what y'all do. This is what y'all do. I don't care if it's witchcraft or Christianity or anything. Y'all have some sort of form of prayer. And what you attempt to do is you attempt to pray away or sacrifice or ritual away your bad seeds. It's impossible. And I don't know why y'all do this. I don't know why you go in front of a full moon and you go, okay, ancestors, I desire this. Or you go in front of the altar, you say, Lord, please take this cup from me. It ain't gonna happen. It's not. Because all God can do, all the ancestors can do is say, your wish is my command. You go, well, why can't happen? Your wish is my command, take this cup away. Did you plant a cup with poison? That was your real wish. Your words ain't your wish. It's still on, Janice? Your words ain't your wish. What you feel about them words is your wish. You can pray all you want to. I can cuss Tracy out, mess up her house, and do all and sleep with her best friend. God forgive me. I'm forgiven. I'm still gonna pay for cussing her out. messing up our house and sleeping with her best friend. Oh Lord, but have mercy on me. Mercy granted, but you still go pay for all them seeds that you planted. And there is nothing, Janice, that I can do for that to go away. It is called karma. In the West, it's called cause and effect. In the East, it's called karma. These are the same thing. In the Christian world, it's called reap and sow. Y'all saying the same thing. Reap and sow, cause and effect, and karma are the same thing. Can I push that further? They're all the granddaddy of them all, law of attraction. So when I hear Christians go, I don't believe in law of attraction. First off, you say reap and sow. If I can just get y'all that y'all are literally crucifying people over semantics instead of being still and understanding the ways of life, which are simple, that Adonia can have everything in this world that she wants without limitations, except for one. She can't have it all at the same time. I'm trying to liberate some folks today. I'm going to do it again. Adonia can have everything she wants in this world without limitation. If she needs $300,000, she can have that. Except for one limitation. She can't have that experience when she's having a current experience. I'm going to say the third time, a few more people going to get it. The problem with your prayers and why your prayers are not being answered and why that $1 million isn't showing up, because you can't have two experiences at one time. Okay, I got you, Deanna. Hold on. I'm breaking down these walls real quick. Adonia can have any single thing she wants in her life. But if a vibration is saying, but this is my experience, they are messing me, whatever, I have no idea what she's saying. Then God goes, your wish is my command. I will give you your $1 million, Adonia, as soon as you're done with this experience that you so much want. God's kingdom can't come until your kingdom leaves. Tylerwood Baptist Church pastor Dr. Dwayne Brooks said that. He's saying the same thing I'm saying right now.
You slapping me in the face. I was trying not to, I was multitasking and I'm not supposed to be doing that, but you slapped me like 3 times in one slap. So I have to process this.
That's like, but I love you though. Okay, go ahead, Deanna.
Okay, you just made sense to me about God's kingdom can't exist until your kingdom leaves.
That's right. You can only have one kingdom at a time.
You can only have one kingdom at a time, which means you can have only. So that means that you can have
Anything you
multiple
want.
experiences at one time. You just can't have multiple experiences in separate kingdoms.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's more complex than what I said. So if you're going to have multiple experiences at one time, then what it's going to be is the same experience with different gradations. And I'll give you an example of this. You're going to have, so you experience abundance, but it's going to have different gradations, means levels. It's going to have different gradations. You're going to have abundance of health, abundance of marriage, abundance of life, abundance of money. You can have all those experiences because it's flowing from the same experience that is abundance.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
you can't have it if you living in your kingdom. You can't have the abundance of God's kingdom and a gradation.
No, because you can only experience one experience at a time. Can one experience have different gradations? True. Yes, that's still one experience. Jesus tries to tell Jerome this. I kid you not.
You can't serve two masters.
Jerome, I'm really never outside the Bible. I have a little funny way of
if I'm in my own jail and I'm set up, I'm the key and I'm the warden. Now how I got room for God in there? I'm running this thing.
Ain't no room. God wants to be the warden. You like, watch out, God. I got this. I'm in prison myself. Come on, Law. You at the doorway. Tell me, wait, God. Shoot. You can't go past me. God, if you do all that. That's not for to happen. Adonia can have anything in this world that she wants. The only limitation is you can only have one experience at a time. That's the only limitation. It's the only limitation. Go ahead, Law. We're gonna stick on this. This gonna be good.
Is that what you meant by when you have this saying that you say you can have everything, but you can't have it all at the same time? Is that what you mean by that? Because
this is the first time I broke it down so much.
Yeah, because I never understood it. I still didn't get it, but I think I'm starting to understand it a lot better in this content as opposed to the last one. I guess it makes a little more sense now.
A little more sense, yeah. I just never broke it down this much. I think it was like a supporting detail, and I just said it. But now it is the thing. It's the thing that reared its head, and we're thankful for Trinace, who said, "Oh yeah, I'm saying I'm doing the right thing." But the experience is, but people taken from me. That's lack. So she's doing the right thing, which is abundance, but she's experiencing lack, thinking lack, and guarding herself from lack. So all she can experience is lack, and God ain't lack. Can I tell you where lack comes from? Man. Only man creates lack. So what Trinace experiences in her life is the blessings of man, not the blessings of God. That's why her blessings are always limited, because Antonio is limited. I'm trying to help somebody.
Can I follow up to that?
Yes, sir. You sure can.
I used to feel that way as well, and I used to hold on to everything and kind of just do things in silent. And then when you see me, then oh wow, he wasn't playing. And then I started to to release that, and didn't really care as much or what have you.
Right.
But I think my new thing that came into effect of that is I rather have done than to not have done at all, because I don't like shoulda, coulda, wouldas or regrets. That's
perfect. Don't change that.
Okay,
that's
okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because this is what you're really saying. What you're really saying is, I got to see this through to the end. I have faith. There's something great about me that I just know that if I just go to the end, I got a real shot at making this work. That's perfect. I would like to add to that though, Law.
Okay.
I want you to now expect when you see it through to the end. It's
now
perfect.
That's the part that's hard for me. that's the part, because I can get to the end. I am good at finishing things. Is the expectation part of it that I still wrestle with, because my experience has always taught me that expectation.
His experience is a program.
Right.
Yeah, I hear.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I expect something great, my experience, my program has told me that most time doesn't end up that way. Just keep pushing forward. That's the part that I have.
Program.
Just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. So
but
he's got to keep pushing. That's a deadly.
You just keep on moving.
You just keep
moving, because you don't want to feel the hurt of whatever that was, because it was
right.
So that's deadly.
That's what I wrestle with.
Deadly.
Consistently.
That's deadly, because what you're saying is you are not the master of your own manifestations. That there are forces outside of you stronger than what you can manifest. That's what you're saying. I'm a finish, but I'm a finish while y'all stronger than me. It's what you're actually saying. And that's deadly.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
So wait a minute. We already know what the problem is. You done drilled it into us. Now, what's the answer, sir? What's the answer?
I've been giving the answers the whole time. Okay, I got you. Let me get the answer before I get to Trinace. The answer is simple. You can have every single thing in this world that you want. There's only one limitation. You can't experience it at the same time. So the answer is simple. Pause. Account for your current experience. Say thank you to it and release it and get another experience. Stop fixing your experience. Guess what you're getting? More of that experience.
And I just went through that with you all. When I shared that, when I came on and cried anyway, because I couldn't hold it back. And normally I would not be saying anything. I would just
Sometimes it's
hold it.
appropriate.
And what was being done and said to me, I was holding it and I was hurt by it. And I still said what I had to say. And I allowed myself to be able to know that it happened, accept it, but release it. By the end of the day, like today, I'm so like, wow, that was so cool. But if that had happened a year ago, oh my God, I'd be depressed somewhere, just unattached.
No, I get it. I get it. If Tracy, get ready to go. Let's go back to Adonia. She got everything in this world that y'all praying for. However, Adonia is like, nah, I want more. And that, if anything describes life, that is it. Because you are supposed to get where Adonia is. Because guess what? She prayed for where she is now. The very thing she's going through, she prayed for years ago. And that's the duality of life. In one sense, Adonia is 100% correct, applying the law of attraction, applying the good God in her, that where she is, she's grateful for, but she knows she's bigger than this one moment. So she wants more. You can't be better and more in alignment with God than that. 100% she's also wrong if she complains, because she's forgetting in that moment, I prayed to be where I'm complaining about.
You've confused me. My brain is just, oh my goodness, you are killing me right now. I need counseling. Oh my Lord.
You're getting counseling.
So remind me to bring up the conference, and a lot of y'all, anyway, don't worry about it. Just remind me. And here's the deal. The universe is going to go, okay, Adonia, complaint? All right, your wish is my command. And she goes, nah, I want more. Okay, well, Adonia, no problem. Your wish is my command. And then something's going to happen. The crazy thing, Steve Jobs said this, you can't connect the dots moving forward. You can only connect them moving backwards. So what's beautiful and stressful, this world, the good and bad exist together. That's why there's no good and bad. It's like a serene chaos or a beautiful, ugly thing. That's his world. What's beautiful about Adonia's situation is she has both the power of she gonna stay at this job forever, and I'm getting $300 million contracts from this job in her tongue. Jerome, if you don't mind quoting that for me, power and death, death and life, if you don't mind. Yeah. Death and life. She has it. I'm not telling you thinking something bad is a bad thing. Oh, but the moment you talk about it, speak about it, and act upon it, it's no longer a thought. It's a seed you have fertilized with emotions, and thoughts plus emotions become manifestations. This is why your Bible spent a lot of time in the Old Testament saying food run your mouth. That's in there. It's better than not have.
Even a fool is considered wise when he keeps his mouth shut.
This is why it's so hard in the Bible to where if you make a vow and do not keep it, it was better.
It was better to have not vowed than to have vowed and not paid.
Your Bible is genuinely trying to teach you the ways of life. It's not trying to teach you how to be fireproof and never go to hell. It is trying to teach you the ways of life. You are sowing seeds, but every now and then, these divine connections, God will send a seed sower. And are you fertile soil, shallow soil, or rocky soil? Ooh, roll that baby. I'm trying to tell you that this life has worked out for you so well, Melissa, that right when you don't know what to do, you activate a divine connection, sowing seeds. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how to make that more of a shout cue than that. Because right when, inversely, when you know what to do, God sends a divine connection. Hey, I got a job for you. Do you mind consulting? I'm sorry, we're only paying $200,000 for this consultant. And you like $200,000. You try to keep it cool. You know, you're like, oh, well, you know what? I'll take that. That's a divine connection. In the same way that if it's in my genes for my hair to fall out, I could pray all I want to. I pray all I want to. Lord, pray. Nope. If it's unlocked in my DNA, that's what's going to happen. My job is not to turn my hair from being gray. I know there's videos on that, and it actually is possible, and I do get it. Deanna likes these videos. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I am saying is my job is to make the good of the gray. See, the solution is stop trying to fix this stuff. Create a new thing you don't have to fix. That's a shout cue.
Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now. The past resides in your memory, which is all relative. The future resides in your imagination. All we have is the present. All life is a series of presents. And it's how do you choose to behave in that presence will determine what your future will be.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? I hope y'all hear it. Look, I'm gonna show you. I just got an email from Audible to support what Phil just said. So here's the email. It's showing me my listening. I've been programming all year, so my listening is down. This ain't got nothing to do with my reading because I still read, and nothing to do with my writing. But this year I'm at 5,773 minutes. I have no idea what that is. Deanna, divide that by 24. So in 7 months, whatever that number is, that's how many days of reading I have. And then take 21,992 down divided by 24. And that's how many days of reading I have. My longest reading streak is 9 days in a row. Now, I'm not attempting to take 48 Laws of Power or some fiction books and stuff like that. I'm not attempting to tell you that I'm smart. I'm attempting to tell you something that I'm so much of a freaking loser that I have a solution for losing. Read that crap away. You didn't listen. You didn't. See, I wake up in the morning sometimes. So that's
the number.
So I read 240 days. So in this year, I've read 240 days. And it's down. I need to think about this. No. I need you to think about this year. I've read 240 and a half days, and I'm telling you that's down. Janice, I'm not reading because I enjoy reading. That's some stuff I say on stage. I am reading because I'm so damn negative. If I don't keep my brain listening to Joel Osteen and Eckhart Tolle, I promise you I'm going to slip back and worry about the trash can and the lights coming off and the bills and how I'm not showing up. Who got my same problem that's willing to admit it?
Yes.
I got to read every day because I'm a loser. See, y'all don't want to admit it. I've been listening to Grant Cardone. Deanna, tell him what I told you.
Okay, he sent me this link. He knew I wasn't going to listen to it. But it was Grant Cardone for 5 hours.
Just yelling at me, Phil. Yelling at me.
Yeah, if y'all have ever listened to Grant Cardone talk,
He act like me.
Not only that, if you take Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone is fair. Like right here
That's pretty accurate.
That's how bad Grant Cardone is.
That's
with
pretty accurate.
Yes.
He's like right here, and he sent me a link of 5 hours of Grant Cardone. I watched I'm Not Your Guru, and I wanted to choke Tony Robbins. So you want me you listening to 5 hours of a step down from Tony Robbins?
Here's the deal.
Sir.
But this is why
Cussing
I'm
him
doing it.
out, yelling at him.
This is why I'm doing it. Rhino Legs getting ready to come out. I won't say too much right now. I need my shit together, for lack of better purpose. I don't know what else. There's not another way to say it. There's not a professional way to say it, Jerome. I got people dependent upon me, and I need somebody yelling at me to tell me, do what you're supposed to do. So I may not be reading an Audible right now, but I got somebody yelling at me. And remember, I told y'all that whenever I listen to YouTube, I'm stationary. So that's forcing me to sit for 5 hours. I'm forcing myself. I'm not telling y'all that I'm smart, and I'm not trying to show you how much I read. 240 days, and I don't even think it's 240 days in this year that's passed so far. That's pretty impressive. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell you I'm that negative. That's the difference between me and you. I have full account of my wickedness. I am the worst person on this call. There is nobody more negative than me. I promise you. Janice, sometimes I want to throw you off the wall. Sometimes I want to say, what you doing, baby? How you doing? You all right? You doing all right? Yeah, take this drink. Come back here with me. I got all sorts of negativity in me. So I wake up and I go, forget the world. Then I wake up and go, F that call. Then I wake up and go, hey, Jesus. Oh, no, I'm schizophrenic. I don't know what's going on in my brain. Then I put on some headphones. And then I match whatever vibration I'm trying to get to. Please receive this. At least try. I need help. And so all I do is listen to a higher consciousness all day, so I don't go back to the lower me who wants to be the real me. And that's your solution. Since I know the lower me wants the same old thing, the solution is create a better me. That's why I read that much. I don't try to fix my personality. Should I fix it? Yep. Would I be further if I did? Probably. Do I know how to jump up and down? Yep. On my call, do I jump up and down? No. Do I want to? Absolutely not. Does anybody on this call expect me to change anytime soon? So ain't no sense in me putting my...
I know you didn't want me to answer that. Sorry. I finally got my 100% attention back on you. Nope. But you just told me about myself, and I'm really, you know what? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna regret this. I think I'm a mini you, because that's not good. So don't get excited, because I too am. I suck up books. It's like it's like medicine. But I think now I understand that's why. Because if I don't, I'll go dark again.
That's right.
I never thought of it like that, but I really do believe that that's me.
Absolutely. I medicate with positivity, 100%.
Crazy. I really believe there's some accuracy to that. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, I think.
Thank you, I think. You're welcome, I know. Look, I am so, I like what Nonya said, dark. Man, I am. And if I told y'all, if y'all saw my whole psychological profile, y'all would be like, why are we listening to him? I have so much stuff wrong in my head. I'm telling you, I can't stress to you enough. My parents are jacked up. So good old genes. It just is what it is. And if I tell you that every day, all I'm trying to do is create something I don't have to meditate about. I'm trying to create a life I don't have to pray for. I want a life I don't have to pray in. I want a life that when I pray, it's for others. How about that? See, I'm tired of praying and asking for stuff. No. I've said this before, but I'm really mean it. I am so sick of asking God for things. I want a life to where I'm so blessed. My prayer life, I gotta talk about Janice. I'm going on behalf of Janice because I got everything I need. They don't teach you that in the church, though. Like, once I got all, it's so hard to buy stuff for me. Like, my birthday is in 7 days. I have no idea what I'm gonna try to do. I'm sure it's stressful because I got everything I want. I'm sure it's very stressful. I'm sure it's very stressful. I know it is. It's very stressful. Her bad. I don't know if she chose wrong or chose right. I'm not sure. It's just a toss up. It's a coin flip every morning. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out every morning. What I do know is that I'm creating to where I never have to create again. I'm not trying to fix that. Energy can never be created, never be destroyed. So why are you trying to fix yourself? At this point, you are what you are. And if I can push it further, you are what you are before you got here. It's far better for you to accept you are what you are and know that all that darkness that Donya talked about, that's how you're supposed to shed a light. My ministry is effective because I'm a piece of trash. No. My ministry is extremely effective because I am a piece of trash and I understand pieces of trash. And I don't even mean trash, I mean POS. And I genuinely can see through the POSs. So when I talk, it's extremely relatable because I'm not acting like I got this together. I'm acting like I try every day. I just happen to be winning because I try real hard. That's why I'm effective. I don't want no perfect leader. That disgusts me. I need Oprah to have weight problems. I need Big Luther and Little Luther. Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about, that's a black reference. Don't worry about it. You know, I need Light and Dark Michael. I need them both. I need them both.
Okay, I gotta pull you in because you know what? I'm reeling you in right now. I need your help. We have to get him.
I need them both. You hear me? I need them both for sure. Tracy, you had your hand up. Go ahead. My bad. You probably done forgot about 15 times. Think about this for a moment. Deanna is just working on something huge. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And I've just been waiting. Like, I can't. Okay, cool. I'm glad they are. I've been waiting for her to step into whatever she wanted to. What I understood, though, was she was growing at her pace. See, let me tell you about Deanna. Deanna's what you call a fish in water. And you can't beat a fish in water. I don't care how much skill you put on it, Tracy. I don't care how good you are. If that ain't your natural habitat, you're never going to beat somebody who was born to be doing what you was doing. Deanna was born for this. She was born to run companies. She was born to be spoiled. She was born to have to wear this. She was born to have these talks. So when she do it, it's like, she said, oh my God, imposter syndrome, go, I need a script. I need this, all that stuff, right? All that trash. Nope. I can't, how many of y'all always pass up your mentors? Let me see your hands out there.
Wait, say it again.
How many of you consistently pass up mentors and it's hard for you to keep one? Yeah, that's because what you're learning from them, Renee, you a natural at. They learned it. You was born for it. I can assure you, you can always tell when somebody's, right now, if I bring up food, Susan gonna get excited. You can always tell what people are born to do because abundance is not what you do, nor is it what you have. Abundance is what you are. And I don't mean that esoterically. I will explain it and define it. You think coaching is your gift. That just started in the 90s popularly. Some people like feeling Susan, they crazy selves. They was doing it in the 80s. God bless them. God bless them. I don't know how they can do that, but they born for it. I would even hate I would hate any word that start with a C if I was coaching for that long. I wouldn't even want to hear. Don't say cake, candy, or nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. That's me. You can tell when somebody is born for something because it's called abundance. Listen to me. And if I ever say anything else, you can forget it all. If you catch just one thing, it's all that matters. Tracy, whoever you are, it's going to show up whether you like it or not. Tracy is not born to be a teacher as a school. But one thing for sure, if you give her an assessment test, she's a teacher. And here's what's going to happen. If Tracy is an electrician, this is what Tracy going to do. If you make Tracy an electrician right now, y'all going to call Tracy over. She's going to say, well, Janice, let me tell you, this is what happened. She's going to give you a full explanation. And Tracy is going to teach herself out of you not creating this problem again. So instead of, Tracy is not going to be the person to try to get multiple checks out of you. You know what? Let's make Tracy a mechanic. This is even better. You know, y'all know how the mechanics go. You go in the car and they say, well, we offer you do an assessment and, you got something going on with the carburetor part and then your Smurf meter and your Simpson transmitter and your Family Guy rotor is all messed up. And, it's going to be, you can go now, but I'm telling you, you need to do this right now. Right. Okay. This is what Tracy would do. Tracy would never do such a thing. Tracy, you take your car and she say, listen, you got the oil show. I changed your oil. I took the liberty, Janice, to do everything else. Now I need to teach you something real quick. Here's a couple of YouTube links for you to do it yourself if you want to, but you got about 6 months for this part. And you got about 2 years for this one. Don't let nobody else tell you. Let me tell you how this thing works. And then Janice don't understand the words she's saying. And then, right, and all this stuff. She going through this whole explanation. And the whole time, Tracy done talked herself out of money. But the line for her car mechanic place is around the corner. You know why? Because she don't need to try to do the little trickery and the tricks and the matching the tone and the upsells to sell because the light is selling. And people will go to her car mechanic shop and don't even know why they're there. Because every human being on this planet needs the light. And they say, why you go over there? It's way out the way. I don't know. I just like that place. I only take how many of you, I'm going to tell y'all right now, we all do it. How many of you go to a bank and you only want to deal with that one teller? Now I'm waiting on Mary. She got a line. I'm gonna wait on Mary. Now I'm good. right, Gerald? Now I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for her. That's the light.
I would get that same thing from customers from T-Mobile. No, Laura, I'm gonna wait on Laura.
I'm gonna wait on Laura. Yeah, I hear it. That's the
Two
light.
and three people.
2 or 3 people. I'm gonna wait 45 minutes. I'm gonna wait on Laura.
When I got my new phone, I called Law, and Law said, I can't help you because you're in Baltimore. But I called Law. I said, I'll get the phone.
Listen, y'all. This is so important to understand that if you really want to be successful, monitor who you are, what you do that you would do for free, and you just can't stop doing it. And if you take your butt over there to that category, then do that. Now, there's a caveat here. If it don't make you money, don't worry about it. Go do something that make you money, but do it in your gift. You always have to put yourself on the right seat on the bus. Just because I put you in computer programming, don't mean you need to be a programmer. No, you be a programmer that teach. You be a programmer that connect, whatever you are. How many of you, so Adonia, I'm gonna call you out. Adonia, Deanna, Susan, Grace. These people, you can put Law in this. Law is back and forth. He's tactical with his. Law is back and forth. These 4 people, Tracy's tactical back and forth too. You fall in love as soon as you meet them. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You fall in love as soon as you meet him. As soon as you just
No. You got me in the wrong category. No.
Okay, now you're saying the wrong category.
You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. I already don't trust you because it's my fear and the experience that brings me to that level. So I'm really not that. Oh, I'm so in love. No.
Hear that?
That's not me.
You hear that? You're guilty until innocent. She thinks that's a fear and experience, and it truly is. It's a programming. What I hear is she's extremely analytical. That's her abundance. She was born on this planet to analyze everything.
But no, I'm not analytical. I'm emotional. I feel.
That makes sense
Mine is feelings based. I have feelings. My feelings. I feel you, and if I feel you, that it's slime bucket. My spidey senses go up. So that's me. So that's why it takes me. You're guilty. My spidey senses are saying, wait, hold on. Then it slowly comes down,
right?
Depending on the circumstances. So
that's why a lot of I bet a bunch of rich people take you. Hey, don't you come to this meeting with me? I bet they do that because they don't know. They don't have her intuition.
They use her as the meter.
They use her as a meter. So
not communicate with.
As soon as they walk out, Donnie, what you think? I don't know, John. I don't know.
Now people do ask my opinion, so maybe that's why. Maybe you know what? Maybe that's why. But yeah, my spidey senses are.
It's intuitive.
My mom used to use me as a kid. When there's certain people that I wouldn't go around, she would you'll notice I would notice she would eventually stop communicating with that person.
So that's what you're supposed to be doing in this life. Listen to me, because I'm wrapping this up. This is the most important lesson. If you find, I'm not talking about find your purpose. That's not what I'm talking about. Because that's true and not true. This depends on who's saying it and how they're saying it. Or actually, it doesn't depend on who's saying it. It just depends on how it's being said. If Deanna is a connected empath who can feel people, how many of you can walk in a room and you feel who hurt? How many of you? Let me see your hands and your voices.
Yeah, I feel like.
I believe all y'all. I believe all y'all.
I do.
That is, if so for some of you, it's the only thing you do, right? Like that's like Susan and Deanna, like that's the only thing you do. If that's the case, that's how you were born to share the light. So why are you trying to coach millions of people? No, you coach millions of people, but your program should be one-on-one. You type of people who can walk into a room and see who is hungry and hurt and need to be helped. You're the kind of person that evangelizes one-on-one. That's where your gift is. For some of you, while you have that gift, that'll drain the hell out of you. Because see, you don't want them one-on-one. You're an includer. You just want, you should have a business that connects people where they belong. Here's how you know when you're an includer. You have empathy for people, you love to talk, but you damn sure don't want them to stay around you. Here's how you know, please go away. This is how you know you're an includer. If I make you an usher of a church, and I go, you don't have to talk to them, just take them to their seat. If you love that, you're an includer. If I make you an usher of the church, and I say, you're more than welcome to sit with them too. If you do that, you're not just an includer. Nope. You're somebody who spends 50 years with people before you tell them about Christ. Like before you even invite them to your church, it's 50 meetings before you did that. That is a gift. And let me tell you something. We need far more people like that than me. Every organization that is going to be successful has an Antonio out front and a Donya going, this is what he really meant, y'all. This is what he really meant. This don't. Don't, Jonathan. You know how he is, and you know he's right now. But let me just say it a different way. That's how my dad act. My dad act like Deanna. Man, ugh. I hate every bit of it. Like,
You
oh,
would think I came from him.
my dad is such an empath. But my dad's an empath. But guess what he married? A psychopath. And I don't mean like a psychopath metaphorically. No, a clinically diagnosed psychopath. She preyed on him and he loved every bit of it. Y'all.
And here you are.
Help me, Lord. I got it honestly. Okay. Listen, create what you desire. I can assure you this. If you are complaining, it is because you have programs set in place for you to be a victim. And there's nothing you can do to fix that. I'm sorry. You want advice to fix it. And any of you, if you really are a complainer, you just denied everything I just said. You're a narcissistic complainer now. That's what you just did. You can't fix your programming. It is not called fixing the subconscious mind. It's called retraining. Stop fixing your programming. You cannot destroy energy that you spent time creating. It is here forever. Chernobyl, you still can't eat off the ground in Chernobyl. That radiation is here to stay. It's why we recycle plastic, because plastic takes a lot of energy, and guess what? It's here. Reboot to reinstall, absolutely. So what you need to do is don't fix what's wrong with you. If I can just get you to see, Antonio, God wants to use what's wrong with you. But you didn't let somebody like Antonio tell you, Antonio, I'm using my name, I'm really talking about y'all though, that acting like you was wrong. I am the perfect leader of a pioneer company to push buttons and disrupt wealth. You can't pick a more perfect person than me, because I could take pain and I don't follow rules. You can't put Adonia at this company and lead it. She feel too much. But conversely, Adonia's meetings are going to be far better than mine. People are going to go, oh my God, thank you, Adonia. Thank you so much, my daughter. She excellent. This is how my meeting will go. Projections, sales, fix that, don't like it. Yep. All right, go. Bye. I'm done. He's just not so personal. Nah, he's not. He's not, baby. He's not personal at all.
Surrounded by those people. That's why I have the challenges I have. I think my life has just got saved, because that's my life at work.
That's your life.
That's my life. That's
Your
my
life.
life. Oh my
That's it.
God.
That's it. And though you got to clean up all the mess.
All the
of
mess.
it.
Oh, I
All
gotta
of
go
it.
hug the employees. And I bought one of our new guys lunch yesterday just because first, his first 30 day, it was his birthday. He'd been with us for maybe 2 months, 3 months. And I'm like, nobody's gonna acknowledge him. Let me go hug him. So I went and bought him lunch. I said, go get your lunch and then come back and let me give you some money for it. So he was good. That's me. That's just me.
It is your gift. It is your purpose. God bless you for it, because it would irritate the hell out of me. There's no doubt about it. But thank God for the Adonias in this world. Let me tell you. Ooh, thank you, Jesus, because I can't do it. I wouldn't do it. And not only could I not do it, I'll be bad at it. So wrapping this up, if you can find abundance in you, this world will come to you instead of you going out to it. I'll explain with this story. Joel Osteen taught me this. It's called the pinnacle theory. Joel Osteen says that at the height of something in its pinnacle, that thing is mastering the law of attraction. Let me read this message. I just realized I'm not supposed to read this out loud because it's red next to it. Oh, yes, there you go. There you go. Okay. I stopped.
Oh my goodness,
See?
I'm so proud
Growth.
of you.
Growth. Growth.
Oh,
Growth. I'm a big boy. All right. Growth. Okay. Growth. Joel Osteen said, at the height of something in its pinnacle, the world goes to it. It don't have to advertise itself. And he told me this story. So I want you to think, Antonio, of an apple. And see, an apple at the height of its appleness, it's juicy, has nutrients, has everything. And if no one, and he put the apple on, or he pointed to the apple on the table, and he said, and if no one eats this apple, then it would deteriorate. God would take it into the ground, because since it wasn't used, God will reuse it somewhere else. So I took this story, put a lot of science behind it. So I'll spare you from the science and give you what he said. He said, now think about I-45. Actually, he said, think about 59, because church is from 59. So think about 59. If there's an accident, then traffic will stop a little bit, but everybody just go around. But then he says, well, but if it's an accident with a car death, traffic won't just stop. Both sides of traffic will stop. The traffic on the side of the accident, there's nobody on the feeder, no nothing. And everybody on the other side is going to be looking at the accident. The accident does not need to advertise. It is at the height of its pinnacle. Therefore, everybody comes to it. Then he blew my mind with this terrible example. Antonio, do you make quilts? I said, no, not at all. And I was far more rough than I am today, y'all. So you can, my no, not at all was probably a hood no, not at all. We don't make no damn quilts, cuz. What you talking about? But you know what I'm saying? It was probably something like that. He said, well, if you make 5 quilts and you sell them, nobody's going to show up because you're not a quilt maker. But if you get the top 5 quilt makers in the world, and first, I ain't never even said the word quilt before in my life. If you get the top 5 quilt makers in the world, and I put them right here in the church, everybody will show up, line to be around the corner, because they are at the height of their pinnacle, and this masterpiece will be at the height of them. My point, Antonio, is when you put something at the pinnacle of its purpose, it does not have to advertise. The law of attraction, it comes to them. And that's how I end you with this story. Most of y'all are not successful because you're not at the height of who you actually are. You got fear and judgment of consequences. The story you're telling yourself and others and your limiting beliefs are stopping you at your pinnacle. But I promise you, if you go full Antonio Smith, and I am full Antonio Smith, too much Antonio Smith, but the Lord keep blessing me. Because when Jerome's God looks down, Jerome's God sees me being me. Jerome God don't see me trying to be Joel. I'm looking for Antonio. Where he at? Oh, he in that Eric Thomas mask. No, I am me at all times. And since I am blessed. I don't mean that me, I'll be saying, well, God know my heart. I can only be me. No, you talking about flawed you. I am pinnacle me. This is why Joel Osteen's dad took that church to 5,000. Joel Osteen took it to 43,000 in the building. He ought to preach like a Baptist preacher. Did y'all know Lakewood was in the Baptist convention? I kid you not. It was in Union Baptist. Lakewood Church was in Union Baptist Convention. I'm not joking. Association. They wanted Joel to preach like a Baptist preacher, 3 points and a poem. No, Lord wants you to be successful, and staying him got him to where he is. So my challenge to you, if you want to fix your problems, if you be at the pinnacle of you, your problems fade away. Why? Because your problems cannot exist in the experience of pinnacle Adonia. I say it again. Adonia can have whatever she wants at any time with no limitations. The only problem with that is, the only limitation is she cannot have more than one experience at a time. There's a scripture in the Bible to where the Jews are arguing. Give me 120 seconds, Deanna, 4 minutes. There's 5 minutes. There's a scripture in the Bible, 300 seconds, to where the guys are arguing in Book of Acts. Jesus, which one of us, player? Holla at your boy. Which one of us gonna be the greatest? Because you know, we put in this work down here. That's in there. That is in there. That's, you know, it's in there. That is Acts chapter 1. Now Jesus, I ain't deny you 3 times. So I don't know what I've been here the whole time. Which one of us gonna get the best seat? Like, which one of us gonna sit next to you? Hey, Jesus said, you worry about the wrong thing. Go look it up. Go look it up. You worry about the wrong thing. Don't worry about all that. Well, then don't go. You don't know what you're saying. I got to go. No. You ain't got to. I got to go. If I don't go, I can't be everywhere at once. I'm in the flesh. I can only experience one experience at a time. But I'm gonna send you somebody. Come on, Jerome. It's in there. Come on now. I'm gonna send you
the comforter.
But I'm gonna send you somebody that could be everywhere at every time, having multiple experiences at multiple times. But since I'm in this flesh, I can't do it. I dare you to find me how that's not biblically accurate. Wrapped in our experience, the power that was Jerome and Tracy and Janice's Messiah can only do one thing at a time. You never see in the Bible, the New Testament, the gospel with Jesus in 2 places at a time. When Jesus healed, it's going to be one at a time. Even if he was in one city, he had to point and say, okay, it's healed, it's done over there. But he could not defy the physics of this flesh. But I got to go. You can't go. I got to go. If I don't go, you're never going to have me in you. Now the Holy Spirit could be 8 billion places at one time, huh? 8 billion experiences. That's my story to you. We in this flesh. Is what it is, Adonia. It is what it is. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Enjoy it. You get one experience at a time. Now, to borrow from Steve Harvey, as we close, you're going to get, you answer down because I'm done. You're going to get a hard experience or a hard experience, because winning is hard as hell. But so is losing. It takes a whole lot of energy to lose. A whole lot of energy to be unhappy. So my question to you, Janice, is which hard do you want? The hard that come with dreams and cars and relaxation, or the hard that come with funk and depression and tears? Choose ye this day whom you will serve, because it's going to be hard. Choose life. It's going to be hard regardless. At least get the hard that come with a fully loaded car. A $20,000 credit card or something. Don't get the hard that come with a Adonia credit score. Don't get the hard that give you that 397 credit score. That's all I got for you. What's the solution? I repeat it again. You only get one experience at a time. But you can have unlimited experiences on this planet. But if you keep trying to fix your current experience, that actually is your experience. And all God's going to say is, your wish is my command. So your solution, Tracy, create the experience that you enjoy. And every great teacher has ever told you that. From Jesus to Muhammad to Buddha to a dude on a tree stump in a Baptist church actually preaching the gospel. It don't matter. They've all said it. If you want something, don't see it with your hands, see it with your mind, and your body will walk into it. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better, you can dominate. Love you, everybody.
Love you more.
Love you more.
All right, y'all.
More.